Stay. I want to give a shout out today to a little country in South America called Guyana. It is the country of my birth and the country that I spent the first 11 and a half years of my life. Even though I've spent the last 26 years here in the United States, Guyana still holds a very special place in my heart. And recently they completed a milestone with the completion of the Demerara Harbour Bridge, which is now known as the Demerara Harbour Bridge. And with the inauguration of this bridge, and after they opened the bridge, there were thousands of Guyanese citizens who walked the length of the bridge across the Demerara River, which is one of the three main rivers in Guyana. And I saw some people online, kind of making fun or, having a little bit of we Guyanese people like to make a little joke and things. So I understood it. But I saw specifically a lot of younger people were wondering, why are all these Guyanese people going crazy over a bridge? And I want to share a little bit about my experience and why, even as an American living here in the United States, I am celebrating the completion of this bridge. For Guyana as well. When I lived in Guyana, I lived in a small town called Vredenhoop. And Vredenhoop was located on the west coast of the Demerara River, which was the opposite side of the capital city. I was fortunate enough that my parents were able to send me to a school in Guyana. So for about 5 years of my life, I went to a school in Georgetown. But in order to get to school, there were only two ways. There were technically three. The first was a ferry boat that left early in the morning, or a speedboat, which I did for a little time, but was a little unsafe. And the third was by crossing a bridge across the Demerara River, which was not what we think of when we think of a bridge. It was actually a floating metal bridge made up of different parts connected. And ultimately, the center of the bridge would open at various points in the day to allow ships and boats that needed to cross as well to get to where they needed to go. So at certain points in time, the bridge had to be shut down. So every morning and every afternoon, I would have to cross this bridge. Usually my dad, when I was growing up, or my uncle would take me to school. So if I made it 5 days out of the week to and from school without any delays or without the bridge having to shut down, either because of repairs or because someone hit something on the bridge, or because of a planned or unplanned opening that a boat needed to pass, then that was a huge accomplishment. Not to mention because of closures, but also because of traffic. Because at rush hour, you can imagine hundreds of, if not thousands of cars all merging on to this bridge at the same time. In a 2-lane road, by the way. It was 1 lane to go and 1 lane to come back. So you can imagine the amount of delays that would happen in that time. That would make me late to school. And many times I would show up to school late, and all I had to say was bridge was closed. And the teacher understood exactly what happened. But this was a struggle, not only for me, but for so many others. Many people, most people in Guyana worked in the city, and they relied on this bridge to get to their places of employment. So, of course, a lot of times I didn't mind, because on both sides of the bridge were things that I look forward to. On the East Bank side of the bridge, I would often persuade my dad or my uncle to buy me cane juice from M&M Snack It. Or on the West Bank of the bridge, they were fruits and coconut stalls and coconut vendors that I would get fresh coconut all the time. And it actually became a thing where I could look forward to a fresh coconut after crossing the bridge. And I think my dad kind of did that because it was like an accomplishment. Okay, we made it across the bridge, so we deserved a little treat. And that was incredible. That was one of the highlights of my childhood and going to school. So now, with the completion of this new, modern, and very beautiful looking bridge, hopefully none of the closures, at least in the frequency as it used to happen, will continue to happen. So this is a huge accomplishment for Guyana. So if you're wondering why the citizens of Guyana are celebrating, it's exactly because of this. So I commend the government of Guyana and all those who were instrumental in getting this bridge up and running. I can't wait to visit Guyana and see the bridge and walk on it and just marvel in all that it is. And Guyana will always, always hold a special place in my heart as my Janmabhoomi, the land of my birth. So I hope this video could maybe shed a light on the reason why this is a huge accomplishment. So let me know, did you grow up in Guyana during this time and had to take the Demerara Harbour Bridge, the floating metal bridge? Let me know. I'm curious to hear about your experience, or if you have a funny story about a time the bridge was closed, I'd love to hear it. Namaste and take care.